Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Ascension messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I am live today. I will be channeling through the CYANIANS and my team, and all to do with the Ascension process, how we can use these new energies to develop our own self and move into something new and awaken ourselves and that sort of thing. First up, a little bit of housekeeping. Congratulations to Dare Reed. I hope I said that right. She won one of my fortune dice. Yeah, so that was really cool. And yeah, she was pretty excited about all that, so that's fun. And I just sent that off yesterday. Another thing is my advertisement that's meant to be going up. I tried to put it up on Friday and there's been a little bit of a hiccup. I tried to go through just YouTube promotion and it completely didn't do anything for the last 3 or 4 days. So we're going to scrap that. I don't know what's gone wrong there. It did 0, so it didn't even get out, didn't even do anything, and it kept saying limited, and I don't know why. So we're going to go through Google Ads next and see how that develops. So that's my next step, which will probably be up tomorrow, and hopefully that will make a bit of an improvement. Hey, Cherie, good to see you. So as you know, I have changed everything around. Today is going to be all channeling, and then on Thursday we have pick a channeled message. So that's a bit of fun for those that are in the chat bar. I don't mind people asking questions in the chat bar for channeling. Sometimes I won't see them because I am channeling, so excuse that. And we'll just see where this all flows as I bring them all in. And they're bringing me to, like, at the moment, everything is coming collectively together very nicely. Don't panic about stuff. People are awakening more than what you think. And I think we're starting to see that, those cracks just appearing, how people are starting to understand their own power and their own divine right of how they should be living on this planet. And yeah, interesting. So they're really wanting to support us at the moment in this growth. There's a growth that's happening with, especially with the light workers who are coming more and more and more into their power, stepping into their uniqueness, and then others that are following are starting to understand that they could go into their uniqueness as well. So there's something happening there with the shift of our consciousness, and it's a very gentle kind of a feeling at the moment, almost like being, how would I put that, like a fresh bud just coming up, but or a fresh flower coming out of a bud or something like that. And I'm just trying to put it into an image in my head as to the feeling that they're giving me, but it's a very gentle feeling. There's a couple of messages that I got from them, and I did write one of these up on my Facebook, put it up last night, and it got a heap of reactions. So this is just to help us out. I'll read this one out. Our reality is made up of everything we collectively agree to. I'm going to have to put on my glasses. Sorry, guys. The problem. Our reality is made up of everything we collectively agree to. This is a reflection of how we also feel about ourselves. Therefore, the awakening we seek is within us to shift how we feel about ourselves, no longer listening to those who make us feel worthless and in need of others' approval. We are the people, and we know our worth is much more than what we have agreed to in the past. We are shifting and growing to stand up for ourselves and the reality we want to create. Peace outside of us comes from peace within, and peace within comes from setting boundaries so that others learn to respect what we respect of ourselves. I think that's really valuable at the moment. That's pretty summing up the feeling that I was getting before as well, of understanding who we are, where our boundaries are, saying no more, trusting that others are collectively coming together to support this whole new vibration. There is obviously, well, not obviously, but to them, they're saying obviously there is different realities being played out all the time. And it does depend on you and how you are feeling about yourself as to what reality you're slipping into and coming back and forth into. The higher the vibration, the more that you'll meet the outside reality looks like. There are people awakening, and so you might meet somebody down the street that's all of a sudden talking about, hey, did you hear about, did you hear about that saying that says, you are the creator of your reality, or something like that, something that's completely in line with where you're going as well. So listen out to the reflection of other people speaking around you as to where you are and the level of consciousness that you are stepping into as well. That's another thing that they're bringing up. And if you don't like what they are saying, instead of pointing the finger at them and getting blame happening and starting that whole focus point on interacting with people that you that are in a vibration that you don't want to be in, instead just step aside and come back to self. It's really valuable. The other thing that they want us to align with or to bring up is vibrational meets. And they were bringing up, I'm going to just open up something from my word. So they were bringing up about frequencies, and there's all these different frequencies that you can tap into that are on YouTube. So for instance, 963 hertz is God's frequency, 528 hertz is the Merkaba. So they say 852 hertz is to open the pineal gland, 999 hertz is peace and harmony. These are all coming from actual YouTubes. 432 hertz connection to earth, they said that one is correct, instead of 44 hertz, which throws humanity out of alignment with earth. So the thing that they really wanted to bring up is to please be aware of a much broader picture when it comes to these frequency alignments, because you are constantly aligning with frequencies anyway through how you feel about yourself. And this helps us awaken depending on where our soul has come from and adapted to us going on this long journey. So we have I'm actually half reading this, so I'm not going to read this because I'd rather channel it. I'll close that off. But what they're saying is there's all of these different frequencies, and here we are, like tapping into this, which will awaken that, or tapping into that, which will awaken this. And they're saying that really the frequencies in the main frequency that we have to come to, and this is going to probably throw everybody, is absolute zero, absolute nothing, absolute 0 point. Because at that 0 point where the mind is completely still, where all frequencies have sped up so fast that all frequencies end up collaborating together and becoming into a 0 point. That's how they're showing me. It ends up having you be completely still in this moment, and then you can then create the path that you really truly desire. And the more that you can come into that frequency of stillness, which is a collective of all frequencies and no frequencies all at the same time, the more that you can actually change your reality. So you can go listen to a certain frequency that align you with your heart or your mind or whatever it is, or the Merkaba or whatever it is. But as soon as you step away from that and your mind starts getting attached to somebody annoying you or whatever, you've completely lost it. It doesn't make any difference. It will only be in that specific moment, and it doesn't really help. So people are going back and forth with these frequencies, trying to grasp at them there's something there. They want us to instead step back from it all and recognize the importance of stillness is more important. The living in the moment is more important. Then you're automatically aligned with the frequencies that you desire, that's attained to your soul and your soul's growth, because your soul has gone on many different journeys and lifetimes of different places, planets, dimensions, all sorts of energies that you've resided in as a soul. And it is has memory of these different places where it's gone to, and then those memories can actually align you with feeling more happier with yourself. It's like listening to music that you've listened to when you were a child, as you're growing up through the teenagers, and you are really happy in that moment. Then you re-listen to it when you're 40 or 50 or 30 or whatever, and you go, oh wow, that really gives me a good feeling. That sort of thing can happen with frequencies, with the soul alignment. So each and every one of us is unique in how we are progressing with this and what frequencies we allow into us. And for us, so just because it says on a YouTube sort of a thing, this frequency will align you with opening your Merkaba, it might not for you, because it doesn't remind you of that at all. It just actually, it feels wrong. So please listen to how you feel about yourself. You're a unique being. You're a unique self, and you need to be able to ride through this with understanding of feeling, how you're feeling, rather than trusting somebody else's word above yours and trying to fit into a mold that actually feels a bit that's not going to work. So just be aware of that as you're moving along with this. Of course, if it does feel right, if it does feel like it's the Merkaba and it's opening up something for you, then of course that's where you need to be, you need to go. But at least it's you trusting your feelings, and you're not trying to fit into somebody else's narrative of what reality should be for you. This is the whole concept that we're changing, is learning from our own humane point of view, our own unique point of view, learning that how we feel is more important than anything else. And each moment we can feel differently. Each moment we can recognize a feeling that's come from a block and clear it, and then we don't feel the same feeling as what we did after we cleared it. Or we could end up feeling into something that feels really good, and then as you grow older, your vibration changes and that doesn't feel right anymore. Just, they want us to really recognize our feelings more than anything. This is the vibrational meat that we need to go towards. Yes, frequencies can align us with opening the pineal gland, and it can change our have certain keys to unlock to be able to have communication with those off-planet beings and other dimensional places that your soul knows about, where others might flip into that sort of vibration and won't get anything off it because they don't understand the unique path that your soul went on. So yeah, if it feels, if when you listen to something or some music or some frequency off the YouTubes, if it feels really good, then follow that advice, follow that feeling. What else are they trying? What else do they need to bring in? So there's this whole, they really want to inspire humanity at the moment, because this is the time of inspiration. They're reminding me of how many things have been invented or created in the past, and then limited consciousness stopped them from developing more, because there was a point within the person that invented that invention where they didn't feel worthy enough of that invention becoming a worldwide thing. And so in reflection, they ended up having limitations pulled over that. So there is this natural kind of understanding that now that we are realizing we're taking our power back and we're no longer going to be pointing a finger outside of ourselves at others that are telling us something wrong, because as soon as you do that, you're saying that they have more power than you. When we invent something new, to also invent it from a solid foundation of understanding that we are supported, or we've supported ourselves, that we can have this massive explosion of expansion of the invention that actually helps humanity. So if you're into inventions or science or something like that, that you want to help humanity to, they're saying for those people to align themselves with support of their invention 100%, knowing that the universe is going to support them, no longer seeing somebody as more powerful than them that can overshadow that invention and put a cap on it. Because this is how we're going to make massive changes. You know, some people will resonate with your invention, some people might not, but that's okay. Or your different energy or your different business that you're moving into, different ways of collaborating with people, that sort of thing as well. Anything that's uniquely you, they are really teaching us to come from a place where we are completely empowered. And that means that we have to understand that we're creator of our own reality to move forward, because as soon as we're saying that that person's stopping us, we're saying that that person is more powerful than us, and we're saying that we are not source energy going on a journey, that we have no power whatsoever. So that's what they want us to make sure as we're moving into all of this. You know, even if you are got a YouTube on and you're going live, and then you like keep clicking into, but that means that they're more powerful than me. I'm never going, like, it could be, I could say that same thing with my advert didn't go out, but I'm not going to give that power away. I know there's another way to get my advert out, so I'm going to find another way to get it out. There's always another way. But if I turned around and went, oh my God, they're stopping me from getting my advert out, that means what I'm saying is they're more powerful than me. I don't believe that, not one ounce. And so that means that I will always find another path. I will always find another way to get my advert to go out, if you understand what I mean. So that doesn't matter if it's an advert, if it's a YouTube, if it's an invention, if it's a learning a new way of doing business or whatever, collectively coming together with Gaia, learning how to be telepathic. It doesn't matter how crazy it is, or seemingly crazy, or different, I should say, or unique, or simple it is. As soon as we say that somebody has more power than us, then someone will have more power than us, and we will stop ourselves through that fear, and we won't move forward anymore like we have in the past. And that's literally what has happened in the past. We have given our authority over to those to others just because they had more money or they had more something. But God, source energy that resides through you, knows trillions of different ways and perspectives of moving through life. And they're bringing me to my daughter when she's talking about Anion, and she said it's a place, Anion is a place where everything is everything. So, but we live in our minds now, Mummy, but we also live in Anion as well. So when she's talking about everything is everything, meaning that there is a trillion possibilities that can be happening for humanity and from our own right. And that's why some people seem more magical than others, because all of a sudden things just happen for them and there's no logical reason for it to have happened, but it just happened. Why? Because they align themselves with their power and they said, no, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep on moving, even if I do seem to have a little hiccup here or there, just from my old energy coming back. And then you turn around and go, no, that's not the way it's going to go. I'm going to find another way. And so, and then because you said that to the universe, because you are source energy going on a journey, the universe will gift you another way. It will show you some other response. And then you can align with that, which is a much clearer path for you anyway, rather than fighting something over here that felt like that you were giving your power away to somebody else. So this is an inspirational time for humanity to start to grow into even more and recognize that there is multiple possibilities for us to travel through. So if you're here if you feel you're here on a mission, you have something to awaken within yourself that's going to help others. They're wanting you to step into that with this full support, that you will be supported and you will see miracles will happen. There are going to be people out there where absolute freaking miracles are going to happen. Just like there's going to be people out there that feel like everything is going wrong for them because they are still in their mind and they're still giving their power away. There's going to be the opposite happening. So that's so that we can teach others that there are other ways of seeing things, of seeing our value, of stepping into our value and moving through our life. Yeah. Hey, Diane. Hi, Sky. Good to see you. And thank you so much too for all of your support on my advert and all your comments. I love that. That's so cool. I'm actually uploading a new advert for the actual advert anyway, because I've tweaked it a little bit. But yes, I will change that up in the next day or two to align with me. Anyway, what else is there that they want to bring through for us at the moment in the energies that's coming to humanity? Help us with our ascension. Okay. Day-to-day things, like when you wake up and you get up and they want us to start using our imagination more. It would be preferably in the morning, but if at night, that's where they would like you to use your imagination more. Imagine something. Everyone's going to have their own imaginings that's going to be unique to them. But the more that we start to click into that imagining of a perceived life that is full of adventure and excitement and freedom and peace of mind, the more that we start to do that, and whatever that looks like, whether it's that you're going to make contact with benevolent beings, or whether it's that you trip up over, you could find treasure within the earth, or you align with a group of souls that is all supportive of each other. Keep on doing this practice of imagining it. They want you to go into all your senses with it. So when you start to imagine, sense or use your smell the green grass, or that freshly mowed smell, or the flowers, or like imagine the smelling things as well. Imagine what it would be like to actually have your hands physically hugging somebody, or they want you to imagine all the senses: sight, hearing, smell, touch. They want you to bring all of those senses into the imagining of some beautiful new life, and to do it would be preferably in the morning, but they're saying that lots of people would be more likely to do this at night, just before they go to sleep. So, like put on some really cool, easy music that you love, that makes you feel inspired. Even if it is, the Hertz thing that I was speaking about before on YouTube, doesn't matter as long as it makes you feel good. And then start to use your imagination even more. Actually, they've been doing this with me over the last week, where I've just been falling into this whole new reality that I want to ground here on Earth, and seeing myself as the guide, as the leader of my own reality that I'm creating. So they want you to, everyone out there, to do the same thing, to see yourself as the leading actress, the leading actor, the guide of creating your own reality. You are the one that's central point, and then carve and create within your imagination that path out from there. Even if it's just, I don't know what to imagine, but I love the smell of freshly mowed grass. As soon as you flip into that, you could be feeling like you're sitting on a field, and it's just peaceful, and you're feeling the sun on your face, and then you feel the wind blowing across you, and then and this would also help you go to sleep too, but it's also flipping your unconscious state into your conscious state. And so when we can do that, we are bringing through our soul lineage, our soul's understanding of what can be created, and we are flipping and we are feeding it through into our conscious state. And then through that conscious state, can start to ground it, because we're just feeling into it. We don't have to grasp at anything or make anything happen physically outside of us. But if you get an inspiration to all of a sudden, I want to pick up needlework, or I want to pick up doing an art piece, or I want to pick up writing, or I want to go align myself with that certain business, or whatever it is, make some woodwork, or whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. If you start to feel an urge to put these things into action, and every day you do one little thing towards creating that reality, then by all means do that. But they said that at the moment, the imagination is very, very important, because we need to learn how to use it again for the appropriateness of creating or carving a new path for humanity's alignment that's matched with our soul, which only is love, and our heart feeds through our heart, which is the passions and desires of what our intentions are, rather than the mind. We're getting the mind out of the way, because it needs to take a back seat just for now, in its rightful place. The mind has in the past been trying to create our reality, which has kept us in this loop of frustration, looking outside ourselves for others to help us, where we're the ones that will be helping ourselves, because we're learning how to align ourselves with our imagination again, which is something that can be grounded. If you can imagine it, you can take pieces of it, and then you can ask your logic, okay, now can we ground this? And then see how much your logic can handle. So slowly, your logic will start to change its decision making, and start to listen to the imagination, and give it more leadership or guidance or whatever to help it. They're bringing me to, whenever I have a sunspot that's on my face, say a sunspot will come up on the side here. I'm getting older now, and they come up a lot more. They can come up frequently sometimes. So I get a sunspot that's here. How I trick it is that I touch the side of the face, which has no sunspot, and I say to my mind, it's gone. So I'm tricking it. And then my mind starts to go, it's gone. And so then it literally disappears within a few days. And they're saying that's how you can use your imagination to keep on imagining things as you go to sleep or as you wake up of what you really want to be here to ground, what you could be something that you feel your mission is, or it could just be something that just makes you feel really good about who you are, some sort of storyline. And we keep on bringing that storyline in until your logical mind goes, oh, I'm going to listen to that, because that's where the focus is. That's where most of our focus is. And so it starts to figure things out in this reality in a grounded way, in a physical way of how to ground it. And so then you get an inspiration of, okay, I really feel like at the moment getting into learning all about crystals. And then you find out that the crystals are all to do with communication, and it's a certain crystal vibration that you start to flip into that communicates you with other off-world beings, but it's specific for you. So just remember that these things are specific for you, and your alignment of your imagination being grounded here on Earth. So this is where we're up to, guys. It's quite exciting. It's quite exciting. And kudos to, like, well done to everybody this thing. Like, we are stepping into this. We're finally getting it. The fear is subsiding. They can literally see the fear subsiding and especially the light workers that have done a lot of work, and it's creating ripple effects out. You are doing more work than what you think. There's a ripple of energy. They're taking me to the 100 monkey syndrome, where one monkey was given a potato and it was dirty, and he decided to wash it in the sea. And when he washed it in the sea, he found that it got salt on it, tasted better. So he started washing it, and then all the other monkeys started doing that. They'd say that would be like the light workers. And then there was all these other islands that had no interaction, but they ended up all doing the same thing. The monkeys all around the other islands, even though they had no physical interaction, started doing the same thing, because their consciousness is attuned to each other. A tuning fork is attuned to the same vibrational tuning fork. I'm going to do a video too on all of this, like an actual video, so that you can see, and that's the one that's called The Spark of Life. I'm still halfway through it. It's full on. Any case, but they are bringing up at the moment for you guys to realize that you are like tuning forks. And every time you clear something, you are helping others that are coming up that are already prepared to be in alignment with your vibration, because that's what they were born to do. And then they end up aligning with that vibration, which makes them see life in a different perspective, understand life in a different perspective. And then their vibration will be aligned with somebody else that's coming up the ranks, maybe a younger person or something. And then they end up waking them up, and so forth and so forth and so forth. It just keeps going out like this. So they're showing me how fear is subsiding on planet Earth. People are starting to take their power back. And they're also bringing me into, interesting enough, a time when the powers to be found what they called a looking glass or a black box. And they used to be able to, this is something that I was taken to a story. So I'm just going to say this is the story that I know, but I don't know the full scope about this story, but I'm going to bring it up because I bring it up. So they're saying, the story goes, the powers to be found this thing called the looking glass, which was like a black box, and they could see into it the future that was coming. And so they could always be prepared one step ahead of humanity's consciousness to keep a cap on us. So when we were starting to align ourselves with telepathy, they brought out the phone or devices outside of us so that they could still have a stronghold, control over us, because it's something outside of us still. And because humanity hadn't learned to recognize the power of us from within us, and we were still grasping at things outside of us, then it still allowed them to be in control. And so there was a vibrational meet there. But when there is a time, and the time is upon us, where they looked into this black box into the future, and all they could see was bright white light. And that is the spark of life. That is the consciousness of humanity moving away from their limited frequency. And so all they could see with humanity's consciousness is this white light, and they couldn't see beyond the white light because they weren't in the right frequency with the white light. And so they ended up not being able to understand where this was going. So they started to grasp, and they started to push things on humanity and try to keep us under this so-called spell. And obviously all that happened was it awoke us, and they didn't realize that they were actually awakening us. No matter what they did, whether they did nothing or whether they did everything, we were going to awaken, because if they did nothing, we would awaken with these new frequencies coming from the sun, coming from source energy, solar, what it's our souls, anyway. And if they did do everything, then it would push us into such a corner that we would just go no more, and then we would awaken anyway. So we would see them for who they truly are, and that they were trying to disempower us all of a sudden. So this awakening was going to happen no matter what, and this is where we're at. This is why they want us to learn how to use our imagination for the benefit of ourselves. It's so important at the moment to take a hold of our imagination and use it for the benefit of ourselves. And where we want to go, and how we want to feel really peaceful in this world, and how we want to collectively create adventures together, inspire each other, trust each other again, because we're trusting ourselves, no longer seeing anybody as more important than anyone else. Everybody is God's source energy going on a journey, and we all have something to gift to each other, one way or another. And we're no longer hiding from our true authentic self and moving through this life. So there's so much more happening behind the closed doors, so to speak, or behind the physical world. The energetic world is ramping up, and I wouldn't be able to channel this information through unless it was. So just me being here and going live and channeling this through is something, right? Yeah, so that's really cool. Hey Maggie, good to see you. Hey Julie. Okay, yeah, if anyone has any questions too, I'm open to that. And don't forget, on Thursday we have a pick a card reading, so I will do three readings for that. Just see if they bring anything else through at the moment. Feeling a real, it's kind of a nervous energy in some respects, but there's peace underlining it. It's interesting. Okay. They're saying that there will be physical contact with specific people who have already been telepathically aligned with these different beings. But nothing can come to Earth physically unless it would only be in a space of uniqueness that aligns with their empowerment or their frequency anyway. So it would be small pockets of this happening until it grows out into the mainstream in the end anyway. How important is meditation, Mary? That's a good question. So meditation is something that it's kind of like a training ground for learning to control the mind. And there's nothing wrong with, sitting down and meditating, but in the end, what they would prefer you to do, because when we move into these higher frequencies, of course, in any given moment, we could sit down and still ourselves and bring ourselves into our into central balance. But every move, everything that you do, they're saying should be a meditation. So if that is aligning you with coming into the moment. And when you are living your life in the moment, so for instance, you're doing the dishes, you're feeling the bubbles, you're feeling all the water, the water against your hand or whatever. You're completely in the moment when you're vacuuming and that sort of thing. You're no longer in your head going, oh my God, about that worry of all that sort of stuff. No, am I ever going to make it? All that is just shushed. They want us to walk our life through as a meditation. That is aligning us with these higher frequencies. And whenever something goes a little squiff, then take yourself aside, and you could sit down and have a small meditation and go into zone of, okay, I am central point of my existence, and what I feel about myself is valid, and I need to respect that, and that sort of thing. So you can bring yourself into that. But when you are moving through your day-to-day things, living more in the moment, present, and being in a meditative state through that, you're stepping out of being in a beta, you're stepping into alpha and through the day consciously, and then you can connect with different beings, Gaia, all sorts of things. Messages start to flow through you a lot easier, understandings and all of that, and things that you would have thought you would only accumulate if you went into an hour-long meditation of omming, would actually happen automatically with you through the day. So you can start to slip into just, by all means do meditation if you feel that you still need to practice the mindfulness. But as you start to gain more control of your mind, then use it throughout the day of bringing yourself into living in the moment, every moment. Sky, I have a question. As we move towards love and cooperation, what's your opinion on competition? Is competition needed in society, or is it just another low vibrational trap? Okay, so interesting, because I just had a competition, right? Okay, so they're telling me that everything can happen as a light-hearted, fun thing is fine. There's nothing wrong with the energy of understanding when you enter into a playful competition with each other. It's how you deal with that. If you feel yourself less than the other person, then you can learn a valuable lesson of that, of gaining back your empowerment, so that it's like an understanding of the actual. Okay, I'm just going to bring you to what the story that they're bringing me to with it when it comes to competition. There was this tribe of Aboriginals that were going to compete against an army, a group of army people, and the whole competition was to get from point A, as they called it, a survival competition, and so they had to get from point A to point B, and it was a survival competition. So they all started, and the army all got together, and you logically figured out exactly where they're going to go. And the original people of Australia just moved. They just started going. And so they had camera crews with both sides. And the original people just kept going, and they're going towards the right, towards the end pole or whatever, where they're supposed to end up. And they were eating and that sort of thing, and they were, collecting their food and that, and then the army started, and they were a bit behind. Then all of a sudden, the original people started to veer off, and the cameraman weren't allowed to say anything. And they started to veer off over here, totally different place. And they were going completely away from the end point of the competition. And of course, the army ended up getting there first, and the cameraman finally couldn't handle it anymore and said, "Why are you going this way?" And the original people just turned around and said, "This is a surviving competition. Why would we go over there when there's no food over there? There's nothing over there for us to be able to survive with. That would be a stupid idea." So this is like, competition is something that you're really generally having within yourself, but in alignment with having fun with the world, we can go into competitive states, and but so long as you're in line with your fine, unique self of what you're really, the true value of what you're trying to get out of the competition from your own point of view is more important than winning. Yeah. And when we're in those higher frequencies, that's the more importantness. So in other words, you could have a competition in a higher frequency, and then someone will turn around and go do something completely different. And then everyone will just go, "Oh, well, these people, that person's obviously got another agenda within themselves that's more in line with who they are." And you just let it go. It's interesting how they're bringing it through, because it's a completely different mindset of only one will win. We are all winners in the end when we are our soul is evolving. We are all winners in the end. There's a bigger picture that we see because we see things from a different perspective of the bigger picture. So competitions can still be had. You can still have playful energy with it, but you don't get caught in the who's won thing. You find true value in what you've learned through that competition more than who's won something. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Thanks, Mary. Oh, that's cute. She's talking to dear. Okay, Denise Davis. Hi, Bobbie. What's with my type? Oh, okay. That could be seen as something really weird. Yeah. Maybe you just have some tension there that you need to release, Dennis. I would go into my mind, if I have any sort of tightness within my muscles anywhere, that can end up leading to some true health problems. So it could be that you're over supporting yourself in some area. Just be aware of where your mind is when you have that tightness. I think value is the key word. Being where you can live your values with others seems to be more important to me. Nice. Thanks, Sky. Yeah. Well, it is a different perspective. So we will change as we learn about who we truly are, and the value of supporting who we are, and our evolution of our soul is brought into the picture. We change our whole perspective of life. So it's no longer the competition of being one person winning. It's totally different. But it's not to say we can't have fun with each other, a friendly banter or a friendly game or something like that to make life more adventurous. There can be alignments with in these new frequencies of you fulfilling your mission, and your mission is more to do with your inner value of who you are that moves you towards the right goal for your mission. And that could end up being that through that you see yourself as competing with somebody else. But we have to take that kind of energy back to, okay, I'm really only competing with myself and where my soul alignment is for my mission, rather than I'm competing against 1,000 other people trying to do the same thing as what I am. Because you're unique, you're different. There's no one like me. There's no one like you. We're all different. So I think that's more the message. Any case, I'm glad I could help. It's hard to know where to focus. Maybe some help with that, Maggie. Well, Maggie, like I said before, they really want us with these new energies to learn to use our imagination to create something completely different. So I would, if you don't know where to focus, if you don't know where your what to ground on this planet with you, who you are, that's where I would use meditation and still my mind, and then come back to myself and go, what would it look like if I was the most powerful person on this planet? What would it look like if I had the desired outcome that I really want to be? What would that, and even if you take snippets of it, little bits of it, if it just seems too overwhelming for you, just take little bits of it. Oh, I really, when I was a kid, I really wanted to blah, blah, blah. I really wanted to be the best needlepoint person. So then you can start to pick up needlepoint, which will take you into a meditative state while you're doing that needlepoint work. And then you end up getting more messages coming through of what's your soul alignment. See, we're moving into, even if it seems like the simplest of tasks that we end up bringing here on earth, because we're aligning with what makes us happy, that's more important, because then when you're in that higher frequency of happiness, you're aligning yourself with more messages coming through, more true value of what your soul really desired to do to be here, and you're letting go of the mind of the ick, of all that over there. You've got something to look forward to. If you could even imagine, okay, by the end of a week, I want something to look forward to. What would that be? What would that look like? Usually, they really want us to bring in the imagination and see what that could look like, so that by the end of the week, see if you've actually moved towards it, even if it's in a small way. It doesn't matter. Because we're literally learning to carve this new path through our imagination alignment with our soul towards something new. If you really, really feel stuck, though, I would just simply go back into myself, and then I would imagine a powerful person walking up to me, and what that powerful person is within my imagination can only be myself and a reflection of what I'm trying to achieve. So if you can imagine someone else outside of you being that powerful, then that is something that if you aspire to be like that, then that's something that you can aspire to be. Or watch people on the TV or YouTube or whatever it is, social media, that really you aspire to be like them. Because that is truly who you could be. And you wouldn't have that inspiration. Even people that you are jealous of, it's usually because you denied yourself that inspiration to become that yourself. And then you see somebody else become it. And so the jealousy comes in because you're aspired to be like them, and you denied it. And that's where that ick feeling comes. So then see them as inspiration rather than the jealousy. It's something that you can be. This is who you are. This is what you love. This is what you really want to be for yourself. And take that power back. Move towards that. Okay. Personal level, I am torn between moving to a place or being a nomad. So guides have any thoughts on that, Maggie? Oh, okay. Like traveling around the world, or they're saying, why not both, Maggie? Why not both? See, this is where we limit ourselves constantly. Why not have a place where you can attain that you love and then travel wherever you want, whenever you want? Why not have that freedom? Like, we really can step into our own abundance of freedom. But we have to be aligning with that before it can come into our reality. If we say to ourselves from our mind's point of view, that's impossible, I'll never achieve that, and then straight away the universe is never going to give you any sort of pathway that's going to align you with it. So why not do both, Maggie? Have a beautiful home that you love, that can, somebody else can, you can bring in people to look after it while you're off gallivanting around, being free and feeling what you want. You can go back and forth from that point of view. Yeah. So yeah, expand yourself into a moreness. That's what they want us to do by using our imagination. So I'll leave it at that, guys, until next Thursday, when I'll do a pick a card channeled message and a Spark of Life video. Hopefully it'll be up this end of this week, maybe next week. It's pretty full on, that one. And what else is there? I think that's about it for today. So congratulations to Dare Reed, who won the competition that I put up just for fun, guys. And if you had any feeling, look into that feeling, because it's there's something there for you to look at, for you to heal. Okay. So love you all. Thank you so much for being part of this team. Bye.